عقابا إن جهنم كان مرصادا للطاغين مآبا لابثين فيها أحقابا لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا إلا حميما وغساقا جزاء وفاقا إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا صدق الله العلي العظيم.
صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد. The lady side there, I know I can see the kids are playing around there. Who are those kids with the green? Please, can you come out of there? Kids at the back there on the lady side. Can you go and get them out there, please? There are two kids are playing there, the big kids also. Right there, at the back. So lady side, we kept some chairs here in the front with the partition, so you can come at least join here. And I can see the kids out there, they are giving us really trouble there. You need to come this side. And the other kid too. All the kids, their boys need to come out this side. You need to come back this side. The boys, you need to come back here. صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على أشرف الخلق والأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وقاد مسيرتنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه المنتجبين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى المستشهدين بين يدي الحسين عليه السلام. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran, in Surah Al-Ahzab, chapter 33, verse 70, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. O you who believe, be careful of your duty to Allah and speak the right word. And this is one of the interpretations of the ayah. But you know what? In Quran, some words or some terms, Arabic terms, it is very precise that we cannot get the meaning from the translation. So even though when you read the translation, many times it's not enough because you need something else. You need to go to the commentary, for example, to the tafsir. So what we need always to pay more attention to Quran. When we recite Quran, we need to understand the meaning and have a book of tafsir, maybe simple tafsir, so you can understand Quran more. Reading the words translated in English is not going to give you the whole meaning or the perfect or the precise meaning. So this is one example. Tonight we are going to talk about objectivity, or we should have a goal or aim in what we are doing, what we are saying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse, He is telling us, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu. So He is talking to us because we are believers. That's why He said, O you who believe. Okay? Ittaqullah. So you are going to see this term, Ittaqullah. Fear God. Be God worry. Okay? Pay attention to your duties to Allah. All these are translations to this word, Ittaqullah. And the second part of the ayah, وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Also, I'm going to mention many, tafsir or many translation. But what is the meaning of ittaqullah? Is it only fear Allah? No, it is more than that. It means that you need to watch Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what you say, what you do. And as one of the imams said, Allah wanted to see you, Allah wanted always to see where He commanded you, okay, and He's not going to miss you on these places or times when He commanded you to pray, for example. So He's not going to miss you that you are praying. And He is not going to see you where He has prohibited you from doing certain things. So this is the meaning of taqwa. Meaning of taqwa, it means to have discipline, to have self-control, to have willpower that you prevent yourself from committing sins. Period. If you do this, you are a muttaqi. So this is the first part of the ayah. The second part, وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. And this is our main subject, that we are going to talk about, objectivity, about purpose. What is your purpose when you do something? What is your purpose when you come to the center? Okay? Oh, we are reviving Imam's affairs. How can you do this? Oh, we are attending majalis. Okay? What did you benefit from these majalis? Imam Hussein alayhi salam, does he need your crying? No, he doesn't. Does he need your weeping, mourning? No, he doesn't. He needs to see your actions. This is what he needs. So I need to think about my purpose. What did I learn from these majalis? So when I come to these majalis, to these events, to the night events, any kind of event, I have a purpose. Okay, and this is important. So وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. One of these translations, O believers, fear God and speak words hitting the mark. So قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا is from Sadid. Sadid, some of them, they said it is like from Sad. Sad, it is the dam when you are closing the stream of the river and then you open some gates. So dam is like you prevent something from going on. So you have an aim, you have a goal. Or some of them, they said, no, it is from Sadad. When you are aiming the arrow on the target and you want to hit the center of the target, this is what it means. So it means that when you talk to the point, okay, don't talk more or less. Talk about your subject because you have a goal. You have a purpose. Another translation is, O you who believe, keep your duty to Allah and fear Him and speak always the truth. This is one of the translations or interpretations of the meaning of qawlan sadida, the truth. Justice. Defend, anything, defend the right, whatever it is going to be. These are some examples. Or another translation, believers, have fear of God and speak righteous words, of course, like righteous deeds. So when we talk about qawlan sadida, it means not just sayings. It means any action that you take. Because sayings are actions. Because one saying, one word you say, it means that you are taking a stand. And it is an action. Like say, I support this person. It is a stand. I voted for this person. So you took a stand, right? Or you said, no, I didn't vote for this person. So it is an action. Now, When we talk about how can we always say the right words, the righteous words, speak the truth. Number one, watch Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and fear Him and be careful for what you are saying. Because taqullah. Let me explain this to you. When you are going to speak to your phone, right? Siri or other like phone do you have? And Siri, what is the meaning of this and that? So it is programmed in a certain way, so it's going to answer you. Oh, it has like these meanings. Do you want the second one, third one? Or sometimes when some people say, I'm going to insult Siri. I'm going to say F words to Siri. Sorry for this word. And then it is very polite because it is programmed. But if someone is going to say something to invoke you, are you going to be calm or you are going to be angry? So we need to remember what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that you need to have an objective. You need to say the right word, to say the truth, to say what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be satisfied with. This is al-qawl al-sadid. When you are upset from your mom or dad because they disciplined you, what are you going to say? Sometimes out of emotions, I hate you. Don't say it. It's wrong. Okay? So we need to pay attention to what you say. And we need to teach our kids what they are saying all the time. All right? So teaching them, the best teacher is Quran. And there are so many examples in Quran to talk about how we can react to others. So this is just an example about the difference between a robot or Siri and us as humans. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted us to have a purpose, to be disciplined when we say something. So it is a saying when we talk about qawlan sadida, the right, the truth, justice. It is a saying with the content of honesty, truth, and justice. And it moves in the horizons of corrections others, or corrections where there is no room for falsehood, error, or anything else. And let me give you an example. When we recite the dua, Allahumma aslih kulla fasidin min umur al-muslimin, okay? Oh Allah, correct every wrong in the affairs of the Muslims. How is it going to be? Do you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is going to intervene and correct things? No. We need to speak up. We need to act. We need to do the qawl al-sadid, the right words, the righteous words, okay? This is how we can change things in this world, in our community, in our family, okay? By saying the right thing. When we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma ghayyir su'a halina bi husni halik. Okay, oh Allah, change our evil state to a good state. One through your excellent state. Now, in many countries, like in Iraq, in Lebanon, in many countries, even the US, we have corruption. So if you are going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 1,000 times to change the situation, He is not going to change it. Why? It depends on our actions, what we are going to advise others about. Even when we go more with the importance of al-qawl al-sadid, or saying the truth, the righteous words, the nice words, okay, the soft words, we are going to talk about some examples. So we need to pay attention that these are the attributes of muttaqeen. Who are the muttaqeen? The muttaqeen are the righteous people, the God worry. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he had, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He had a speech about, muttaqeen attributes, the God worry attributes, those who are fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attributes. So if I want to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, read what Imam Ali alayhi salam is saying. Khutbatul muttaqeen, or fi wasfil muttaqeen. He says, منطقهم الصواب, which means that their speech is to the point. And maybe this is also the meaning of al-qawl al-sadid. Their speech is to the point, no more, no less, at the same time, at the perfect time, and he knows how to say it. Also, He says that those people who fear Allah, بعيدا فحشه, which means indecent speech is far from them. So we need to watch ourselves. When you get angry, are you gonna say bad words or not? Many times people will say it. Why? Because they don't have discipline. They haven't trained themselves to have this kind of discipline to be among those who are muttaqeen. And also he said about the muttaqeen, لَيِّنًا قَوْلُهُ. His utterance, what he says, is lenient. You know, Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he was trying to convince his uncle was a mushrik, was, infidel. And he tried to convince him once, twice, 3 times, more than 5 times, but he rejected that. Then he did say, okay, I don't care about you, even if you go to hell. No, he didn't say this. He said, سأستغفر لك ربي. I will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgiveness. Okay, so this is al-qawlu al-layyin, soft words. If you want to convince someone about something, try to use this way. So how suppose our words going to be? Number 1, do not make your words emotional, based on your emotions. I hate someone, so I am going to bring all the bad words in the dictionary and I'm going to say it. Oh, call him with. This is not right. This is really something unacceptable by Islam. Or when you are, when you like your friend and you are going to bring all the good words in dictionary and you call him with, don't say it. Be fair, okay? Don't be so emotional. Number 2, don't make your words impromptu or improvised or unplanned. Try to think and speak. This is so important. Before you talk, think. Because if you speak without thinking, so we are going to see what Imam Ali alayhi salam is calling those people who are speaking without thinking. And by the way, when I talk about speaking, it's not just to talk to someone. When you are on your phone, texting someone, so you are talking to someone. So this is included, this ayah. When you are, on TikTok and you want to say something or record yourself with something, think about the consequences and people who are going to see it, what they are going to say, and so on and so forth. Number 3, don't make your, words, or don't throw words as it comes to your mind. Anything comes to your mind, right, wrong, you are going to say it. Don't do this. So let's go carefully. Think about what you are going to say and what is the impact of your saying. When you talk to your parents, let's ask the Quran, how can I talk to my parents? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, alaykum salam, وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. Address them in terms of honor. Always when you talk to your parents, talk to them with respect. So this is included al-qawl al-sadid, qawlan sadida, saying the truth. Also the place. Now, when you talk, you need to know your audience. You cannot have prepare the speech or having something in your mind, regardless of the audience who are listening to you, about their education, their level, about let's say the events, it's really affected them. You need to be careful with that. There is a real story about one of the speakers. So in Najaf, in Karbala, in Iraq, so ulama will have a majlis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and will invite other ulama or other students Islamic students of Hawza or Rawhanis. So most of the audience, they were wearing imamah. They are people Rawhanis, ulama. And this guy who was giving the speech, he was talking about drinking, alcohol, drinking liquor, and the consequences of drinking, alcohol and all this stuff. So all of them, they were shy, and they were doing like this. He's supposed to understand this is a kind of rejecting for what you are saying. Then one of them, he couldn't stand it, and he said, "What are you talking about? Do you think that we are drinking alcohol and you are talking to us? Look at us." So when you are in a place, certain place, you need to know your audience and talk to them the right, way. Also, let's make this, it is a funny story, but it is a story. Don't take advantage of your audience. Okay? When you are giving a speech or when you talk to someone, you need to know that it is your responsibility. And Allah is going to ask you about everything that you have said. And if you are trying to educate people, do it the right way. Not just to make people satisfied with you. Oh, mashallah, this and that. No. There is a real story about a Sheikh. He was going to one of the remote villages. People are very naive, simple, and ignorant. Ignorance. So he was trying to educate them. But during his majlis, second night, third night, he saw the audience are going, to disappear one by one, less. People are now showing up in his majlis. Then he asked, why people are not coming? He said, because there is another speaker, and people liked what he is saying. He said, let me go and listen to that guy. And then when he went and he listened to that guy, and he listened to him, and he said, one day he was telling them stories, but all of them faked stories. He was telling them, one day our father, Prophet Adam, when he got out of his house, he met with the Prophet, Nuh or Noah. And, he greeted him, and the other, said, okay, where are you going? He said, I wanted to visit a brother, Prophet Ibrahim, alayhi salam. So people are enjoying this kind of, old stories. All of them faked stories. When he is done, he approached him, the educated speaker, and he said, what are you doing? This is all lies. You cannot do this. He said, why do you care? Those are ignorant people. And I just want to get money and go back to my home. And then he said, it is your responsibility to educate them. He said, why do you care? Okay, let me tell you the truth, or let me show you something. And then what he did, he said, okay, people, come in. He said, do you know how to read and write? So the other one said, yes. He said, can you write snake in Arabic? He said it. He wrote it down on a piece of paper. But the other one who took advantage of, the majlis or people, he drew the, the snake. He said, which one is the snake? People, they don't know how to read or write. He said, yours. And then he looked at the Sheikh. Do you see? Do you think that they deserve to be, educated? Yes, they deserve to be educated. Don't take advantage of the ignorance of people. Or you take advantage of loving Imam Hussein alayhi salam and coming to listen to the speeches, and then you don't really prepare yourself very well. Now, another thing, when we talk about a place, there is a narration by our Ma'sumin, by, Imam Ali alayhi salam, or Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. He said, من وعظ أخاه سرا فقد زانه ومن وعظه علانية فقد شانه. If you have anything to tell your friend, you have many ways. Number one is in front of other people. Okay? Number two, maybe you can do it secretly. You go to his home or text him privately, not to the group, and then you can advise him. Okay? So Imam is telling us about the second way. Do not try to embarrass, to put down your friend or in front of others. So Imam said, the one who advises his brother in secret has beautified him, because he is going to correct his mistake. And the one who advises his brother openly has uglified him. You see? So you are going to lose your friend or your brother, and then you are going to turn him into an enemy to you. Are you trying to lose your friends or to gain more friends? You're supposed to gain more friends. And also when we talk about timing, so when we talk about the right words, what to say, be careful to your duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah. Be careful to your duties to Allah. Fear Allah, fear God. وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Say the right words, to the point, the righteous words. Now, one of the examples, it is about timing. Many of us, for example, it is frequently discussed. Imam Ali's, peace be upon him, alayhi salatu wasalam, right to the Khilafat. Is he supposed to be the Khalifa or not after the Prophet? Yes, all the fight between many on social media is about this point. However, the focus should be on the intellectual, spiritual, and moral references before moving to the political references, as this will eventually lead us to the political references. Let me explain this to you. When we talk to people, our reference is the narration of the Prophet. I'm going to leave two important things, Quran and Ahlul Bayti. Okay? Now, when we talk about Ahlul Bayt, they are number one reference in, intellectual reference, moral, spiritual, and political, and social, and in everything in our life. But mainly 3 points. Number one, political, because we believe they are the legitimate leaders after the Prophet. Number two, intellectual one. Number three, it is moral and spiritual. When we go to the first point, we fight on the first point, the political one. We are going to miss the other points. But if you go to and talk about the second one, it's going to lead you to the first one, to the political one. So don't start with the wrong point. We are not going to change history. It happened in the past, and you are not going to go back to history and say, now we need to make people see the truth. This is al-qawl al-sadid. So timing is important, okay? When we talk about something in the past, all right? And we need to do it the right way. All right. Always try to make your words to guide someone. When you have some debates with other people that you disagree with in faith and any other thing, okay, don't end it with hard feelings. This is wrong. Because they are not going to believe in what you said. There is a convert, there is a scholar. He's a Christian. And he had 3 books. It is, it is like on l-islam.org. I forgot the name of this person. He mentioned that I had a discussion with one of the Christian youth. He converted to Islam. He was a Christian and he is a scholar. And he said, the first time I tried to convince him, he refused. Then second time, he refused. Third time, he refused. Then I asked him after a while, do you still believe that Jesus is like God, or like he had the secret of God or whatever? He said yes. He said, okay. Do you say that Jesus had circumcised or not? So the other guy, he didn't say anything. He said, if you do not believe me, go to Luke 2nd and then blah, 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 and this page and this, on this line, you can see it. He said, yes, he was circumcised. Then this guy asked him, does this piece also part of God or not? So the other guy, he looked at him with anger, and he just left. This person was saying that, the good thing he didn't hit me. And alaykum salam. And what I said is really made him angry. And he concluded by saying that our discussion wasn't fruitful. There is no good conclusion out of it. Okay, so this is the time of Maghrib or Ghurub, sunset. So when you think about getting in a debate with someone, discussion with someone, you need to guide him to the truth. You need to end the discussion with no hard feelings. Okay, so this guy is not going to be convinced at all. So why? Because when you are going to be offensive in a way, he's not going to accept that from you. Let's look at another example. Mu'min al-Fir'aun. So this is in Surah Ghafir, Surah number 40, verse 28. There is a man from among the family of Pharaoh. He was a believer, but he was hidden his belief. So this is what he has saying. There were three, so Quran, I advise you all the time to read Quran. If you don't have knowledge of Quran, you are missing a very important source of knowledge. So there are in that scene, three groups of people. Number one is Fir'aun. Number two is this believer who was hiding his faith. Number three, Pharaoh's people. But this guy was part of the family, or Pharaoh's family, because he was talking to his people in the Quran. And in the Quran, Allah said, وَقَالَ رَجُلٌ مُؤْمِنٌ مِّنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ يَكْتُمُ إِيمَانَهُ أَتَقْتُلُونَ رَجُلًا أَن يَقُولَ رَبِّيَ اللَّهُ. And the believing man of Pharaoh's people who hid his faith said, What will you slay a man because he says, My Lord is Allah? And indeed, he has brought to you clear arguments or proofs from your Lord. Listen, from your Lord. He was telling his people. And if he be a liar, on him will be his lie. And if he be truthful, there will befall you some of that which he threatens you. Surely Allah does not guide him who is extravagant, a liar. In this, he wanted to guide them. Always say the words that guide people, unite people. Don't insult, don't create hard feelings, and be like those righteous people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us about. You know the story of Habil and Qabil, Adam's sons. One was very aggressive, and the other one was on the opposite side. So Habil was telling his brother, if you will stretch forth your hand towards me to slay me, I am not one to stretch forth my hand towards you to slay you. Surely I fear Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Now, when we talked about someone who is saying things without thinking about it, this is what Imam Ali alayhi salam said, لِسَانُ الْعَاقِلِ وَرَاءَ قَلْبِهِ. لِسَانُ الْعَاقِلِ وَرَاءَ قَلْبِهِ. وَقَلْبُ الْأَحْمَقِ وَرَاءَ لِسَانِهِ. The tongue of the wise man is behind his heart, which means his mind. So he thinks before he talks. And the heart of the fool is behind his tongue. So this person is talking without even thinking. So don't do this. Also, if you want to evaluate a person, let him talk. Or see his, let's say, what he is posting on Facebook or other social media. So you can know this person. So Imam Ali alayhi salam is saying, تَكَلَّمُوا تُعْرَفُوا فَإِنَّ الْمَرْءَ مَخْبُوءٌ تَحْتَ لِسَانِهِ. Imam Ali alayhi salam said, speak, and you will be known, for a person is hidden under his tongue. Why? Because When you look at someone, you assume that he is a very knowledgeable person, but when he talks, you find the opposite. Or you look at someone that he is very simple man, but when he talks, maybe you are going to find a scholar talking. So don't judge people by the way they look, but the way they talk. Now, when we come to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, with his son Ali al-Akbar, this is the night of Ali al-Akbar. So what happened? Well, the caravan was, heading towards Kufa. Imam Hussein alayhi salam slept for a while. And then, as if he heard someone saying that people are walking or traveling, and their death is walking with them. And he said, لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Okay, to Allah we belong, and truly to Him we shall return. So Ali al-Akbar asked his father, what happened? Father, what happened? He said, that's what happened. I saw something. He said, oh Dad, aren't we on the right path? Imam Hussein said, yes. Then Ali al-Akbar said, this is al-qawl al-sadid. Listen, to show his action, to show his stand. So we don't care, even if we are going to die. Why? Because we are on the right path. On the day of Ashura, none remained with Al-Hussein alayhi salam except his Ahlul Bayt, who were determined to face death with their might and to maintain their dignity. They came bidding each other farewell. The first being, Abu al-Hasan Ali al-Akbar, who was 27 years old. And then he took the permission from his father to go and fight. And when he went to fight, he said, I am Ali, son of al-Hussein, son of Ali. We by the house's Lord are more worthy of the Nabi. And this is part of the Qawl al-Sadid. By Allah we shall never be ruled by the Da'i, by Yazid. With the sword shall I defend my family and strike like a young Hashimi Qurashi. Ali went back, then he fought, then he came back to his father. So he went back to his father, and then he went back to the battlefield feeling very happy about the good news which he had just heard from his father. Ali al-Akbar, who was chasing the enemy, or whether it was the enemy, and they said he is like, Al-Wasi Imam Ali alayhi salam, roaring like a lion on the battlefield. Murra ibn al-Munqidh al-Abdi said, I shall bear all the sins of the Arabs should I not succeed in causing his father to lose him for good. He stabbed him with his spear in the back and hit him with his sword on the head, splitting it in half. Ali embraced his horse that carried him to the enemy camp. There he became the target of their swords. So they cut his body into pieces. Rahimallahu man nada wa aliyah. Rahimallahu man nada wa akbarah. He called out saying, peace be upon you from me, O Father. My grandfather has given me a drink with his own cup, after which I shall never suffer any thirst. And he says that there is another one reserved just for you. Imam Hussein alayhi salam came to him and placed his cheek on his, as he said, there is no good in the life after you. How dare they defy the most merciful one, and how dare they violate the sanctity of his messenger. Hard it is upon your grandfather and father. They cannot respond to you when you call upon them, and that they cannot help you when you ask for help. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
Again, for those who have questions, please you can raise your hand, and those are online, they can ask on the text message, and I'll read it for you, inshallah. Just anybody has a question here, we can give you. Kids, any question? No? Sheikh, maybe you need to ask them the question.
Okay, Jazakumullah khair, thank you. Yes. Muhammad, right. Yeah, what do you want to say? Go ahead. You like Allah? Good. Yes, Maryam. Yeah, he is still alive. Yeah, Imam Mahdi, Imam Muhammad ibn al-Hasan. His name is Muhammad. He is still alive. Yes. All right, no more questions. Thank you. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.